Bob's Balloons Part 2. Bob is planning to sell balloons next summer. He will work on weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June through August. To get good prices on materials and supplies, he will need to buy in bulk in May. He will need to borrow money to cover his purchases. His dad will loan Bob the funds, but as he is a banker, he is requiring Bob to provide an income statement. Bob has decided to charge $1.25 per balloon and thus expects to sell 200 balloons per day. By ordering in bulk, his balloons will cost 25 cents each, and the helium tanks will cost $100 per month, and the string will cost $250 for 30,000 feet. Each balloon will use 3 feet of string. Bob will need to buy a vendor permit at $50 per month. He's also planning on buying an ad in the summer edition of the Visitor Circular, CDC. The ad will cost $500. Bob's tax rate is 10%. Develop an income statement, just one, for the entire 3 months. Let's take a look at how we break this problem down. The first fact is that Bob is only going to work on the weekends, 3 days per week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's one fact. And that the months that he's going to be working is going to be June through August. So he's going to be working for 3 months, 3 days a week, 3 months. Now it doesn't say that there's 4 weeks a month, but that's one of the assumptions that you're going to have to make. So I said that of all of this over here are my facts of the case. Days per week, 3. Weeks per month, 4. Months per summer, 3. It further says that he's charging $1.25 per balloon, and he expects to sell 200 balloons per day. So I have to document those facts as well. He's going to sell the balloons for $1.25 each, and his quantity is 200 per day. He's saying that his balloons are going to cost 25 cents. That's the balloon itself. The helium is not being measured directly. It's saying that the tanks basically cost him $100 a month. When it's done like this, the helium tank is not a variable cost. It's treated as a fixed cost. The balloons and the string are both variable costs, but this right here ends up being a fixed cost. But we write it down as $100 per month. And the string will cost $250 for 30,000 feet, and each balloon uses 30 feet of string. So the key here is to figure out how much he's paying per foot of string, and then how much he's paying per piece of string that's being used for a balloon. Now, the way that I handle this is I say that his string cost is $250, the length of the spool is 30,000 feet, and the string per balloon is 3. And so later on I'm going to have an equation saying 250 divided by 30,000 times 3 is the cost per string that is used per balloon. But we'll get to that in a minute. It says further that he will need to buy a vendor permit at $50 per month, and that he's buying an ad that's going to cost him $500 for the entire summer. And then finally, his tax rate is 10%. So, first we need to figure out the revenue. Now, the revenue is equal to days per week times weeks per month times months per summer times sales quantity times price per balloon. My cost of goods sold is equal to my cost per balloon plus my cost of my string, which is string cost divided by spool length, 250 divided by 30,000 times feet of string per balloon times 3. All of that times the quantity of sales per day times the weeks per month times the days per week times the months per summer. And the difference between those two is $7,020. Now the helium tank is $100 a month, and it's down here because it's one of my fixed expenses. My vendor permit is $50 per month, and it's also down here because it's one of my fixed expenses. And the ad cost is $500 for the entire summer, which is also a fixed expense, for a total of $950 for my fixed expenses. The difference between my total expenses and my gross profit is $6,070. And the taxes at the tax rate stated in the case is 10%, so it's $607, which leaves him with an after-tax profit of $5,463.